Welcome to Digital Readers. Today's video is about the man who saved the world. Yes, you heard it right. This video is about a single man who saved the entire world from a nuclear apocalypse. It was a peak time between the US and USSR. The Cold War between United States and Soviet Russia was getting worse day by day. Between October 14 to 16 of 1962, the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, reported that Soviet Union's ballistic missile bases in Cuba was fully functional. After many secret meetings now at National Security Council between October 16 to 21. Finally, on October 22, 1962, US President John F. Kennedy informed the entire world about Soviet Union's secret missile bases in Cuba, which was just 90 to 100 miles off the shores of Florida. Meanwhile, the allies of US, the Europeans and British, advised them to go for a diplomatic talks with Soviet Union. On the other hand, Khrushchev, USSR chief, sent letters to Kennedy on October 23 and 24, imposing two demands to US. 1. US should not invade or support invasion by any means to Cuba. 2. US should withdraw missiles in Turkey and Italy. The crises worsened on October 27, when U-2 aircraft was shot down over Cuba by Soviet forces. This was the high time on the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy acted immediately, accepting USSR deals. With response to Kennedy's acceptance, Khrushchev called off Soviet ships from the international waters near Cuba, and ordered for the removal of Soviet missiles from Cuba. The order was broadcasted around the world, but not to B-59 submarine, as it was in deep waters. It failed to receive any signals or messages from Moscow. Those on board did not know whether the war had broken out or not. So B-59 continued its stay in the international waters near Cuba. Despite its mission to run secretly, the B-59 submarine was spotted by US Navy group. At this instant, the American Navy made the situation worse. The US Navy started dropping signal depth charges. Signal depth charges weren't lethal, but they forced submarine up through fright for identification. The designated captain of B-59 submarine, Captain Valentin Savitsky, thought the depth charges as an attack from US. Since the B-59 dug to the depths, no radio contacts was possible, so the captain assumed World War III had started, and voted to launch a nuclear torpedo, as the crew in the submarine were instructed to use the nuclear torpedo without any approval if the submarine was attacked. Captain Savitsky was curious to launch the weapon, but he needed approval from the other two captains in board. The second captain, Ivan Maslenikov, agreed to use nuclear torpedo, but the third one, Vasili Alexandrovich Arkhipov, flatly refused to launch the torpedo. The crew in the submarine were severely tensed. As time progressed, the conditions started to turn worse. After years, one of the crew members confessed to a journal about the situation, stating, "My head is bursting from the stuffy air. Today 3 sailors fainted from overheating again. The regeneration of air works poorly. Temperature in the sections is above 50 degrees Celsius." As B-59 shook with repeated depth charges, Captain Savitsky and crew members were in full chaos. But Vasili Arkhipov, despite all chaos, tried to keep it rational. He started convincing the Captain Savitsky, stating it wasn't a fire attack, and assumed it might be a depth charges from Americans for surface identification. After a brief discussion among the captains, Vasili Arkhipov convinced Captain Savitsky from launching the nuclear torpedo. The submarine surfaced, and answered US Navy force depth charges, and waited for the orders from Moscow. Arkhipov was right. The war had not broken out. But if he had not prevented the launch of the nuclear torpedo, with no doubt a nuclear war could have begun, and the fate of the world would have been different. Nevertheless, Arkhipov and his comrades were not praised, but were criticized by Soviet leaders for being detected by the Americans and reaching the surface. However, Arkhipov continued his service in Soviet Navy till 1980s, and eventually died at the age of 72 in 1998. Arkhipov's heroic act during the Cuban Missile Crisis, left unaware for years, until 2002. A retired commander of the B-59 submarine revealed that the submarine were armed with nuclear torpedo, and also about Vasili Arkhipov's firm decision in not accepting the launch of nuclear torpedo. By Vasili Arkhipov's wise decision, he literally avoided World War III, in recognition to his wise act in the B-59 submarine. Arkhipov was posthumously awarded the first Future of Life Award for his exceptional measures in saving the world from a nuclear war. Hope this video shared a great information about one of the greatest unsung hero in the history. Hope this video was informative. Thanks for watching. Cheers.